Hello, friends. Happy fall. Are you excited? I think some people are. It's spring if you are under the globe, which is actually tilted this way. So, anyway, if you are in the southern hemisphere, happy spring. If you're in the northern hemisphere like me, happy fall. I can't really get into a springy mood because I'm having to pull out all of my hoodies and sweats. So, apologies that I can't be spring-like for my Australian viewers. So, I have something fun to do today. I'm very excited. You may have noticed that I didn't have any videos last week. That's because I took the week off. I had a very busy past few months, and I felt like I just needed some time that was down by myself. So here's what I did. I made this little folio. So, and we're going to make one today for our September challenge of Whimsy. September challenge, Whimsy, remember? So here's what we're going to do. So I got this kit. It's called Fall Whimsical Fall Frolic, something. I don't know. I'll link it below. It's by G&T Designs. Everything that you see today will be by G&T Designs. They're all printables. I spent many a nights listening to audiobooks and fussy cutting. So in this little envelope are some printables that I printed out and fussy cut. There are, I think there's a tag in here that I made too. Yes, there's a little tag in here that I made. And I made this folio. So I printed things on rice paper. This little bird is printed on rice paper. These little guys were printed on rice paper. And then I printed things on craft paper. So this is printed on, everything in here is printed on craft paper except for a couple of the embellishments. These, I believe, were printed on white paper. And then I just glued them to this tag. So let me show you this. And then I'm going to show you what kit we will be using from G&T Designs for our whimsical challenge. Because this isn't the challenge. We're going to make the challenge together. This was me just trying my hand at making this folio because I've never made a folio. So this is my first attempt. It's not perfect. That's okay. I learned from my mistakes and I'm going to teach you what not to do. And we'll do it the right way here on the video. Okay. So this is the little folio. It's got a little flap. These are rice paper. It opens and you've got a little pocket here, which I should have just put that little tag in there. You've got a little pocket here, which I could put another little tag in. I didn't get around to putting in the embellishments simply because I just wasn't feeling it. I finished this finally. It took me 2 attempts, but I finished it finally and I kind of just wanted to leave it alone. So there is this little poem that comes with this kit and it's just on regular white paper and then they've got it on this little piece of paper that's all aged and everything and it's really cute. And so what I did was I cut out the white one and I distressed it and then I sprinkled it throughout the whole folio. So these little guys were printed on coffee dyed paper. This I think was just printed on white paper. The backgrounds are all craft paper. This is rice paper. And then I outlined everything in a Stabilo all pencil and then I took my water brush and went around it so that it looked kind of sketchy because I feel like the art already has this watercolory effect to it, so I thought it would be cool to do that. I made a little tea bag tag and I even used the little, what is this called? The tag? But then this, anyway. I put this back on and I did glue, this is glued onto this one. And this is just a little square of one of the backgrounds. It's like this. And then I just put it in the tea bag and then I folded it all up. This is actual tea stains. I didn't distress or anything. And because this stanza is pumpkins grin with faces all askew, I put a little pumpkin charm on my little tea bag tag. And again, Stabilo all. This little guy was coffee dyed paper. I think this one was actually printed on regular white paper. Coffee dyed paper. I think that was regular white paper. So I did put this together wrong, but we will put it together the correct way when we start ours. And I'm going to give you all of the pieces, and then I will link the video where I got this. So this is like I saw a video from Nicole on Relax Cut Glue, and she made a glue folio, but she used it making May Makes It's folio, but then she added things to it. So I went over to May Makes It and I watched the original folio one, but then like May said that she got her idea from some, I don't know. Anyway, as we all know, art is just a conglomeration of ideas thrown together, and it's just one big game of telephone. So I'm going to make this. I'll link May Makes It video below because she's the one who gives you the dimensions and everything. I'll show she does it correctly. So if you're like, this half-ass crafter lady doesn't know what she's doing, that's fine. I don't. You're correct. Go to May Makes It or Made It and get the correct way to do it. So this is what I did, and we're going to do one. Let me put all of this up and I will show you what we're going to use. Okay, so here's our Whimsy challenge, or I guess our monthly challenge, which is Whimsy for September. So what I have here is I bought the Whimsy Emporium by G&T Designs. It might be called Art by G&T or Designs by G&T Art, something like that. But it's called the Whimsy Emporium. And I feel like I got all the parts, but I think part 3 is all that I printed on rice paper. Yes, so part 3 is the only one I printed on rice paper. The rest of it I printed on regular white paper. So here's what you need. You can use a printable kit if you want. You can also just use scrapbooking stuff. But you will need 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. These 3 came from 12 by 12 sheets that I cut down into 8.5 by 11. Okay, so you'll need 3 of those. You are going to need the pieces to go on these. Let me show you. So you have this, and this is 3 pieces of paper. So this is 1 piece of paper. This is 1 piece of paper. They're glued together. And then this is 1 piece of paper. And you need all of the pieces for the backgrounds. So for these, I have these pages. So we're going to use this page, and then there is this page, and then there is this page. So you need 3 pieces, and these are 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. And I will link to May's video because she has it all written down. And like I said, she does it the correct way. So I'm going to tell you, and if you want to write it down while I'm talking, you can, but I will also just link over to May Made It, and that's way easier. And then you're going to need the strips for your pockets. So you need a small strip, and then you're going to need larger strips for these pieces. So I've got all of these cut out. They're all from the Whimsy Emporium. I think these are 1 and 2, and then the rice paper printables are 3, I believe. Oh, and then you also need smaller sheets for these. So we've got these sheets. So that's what we have. Let's get into making it now that we have all of our parts. So we have all of our paper to put on the folio, and then I'm going to cut out, I will fussy cut from my rice paper prints pieces to go in. I also have, where did I put them? I also have these 3.5 by 5 inch cards. So May says that this is a 4 by 6 folio so that you could put like 4 by 6 photos because it's for scrapbooking. But I had this cardstock left over from cutting down my 12 by 12, and I realized I think I actually like this smaller 3.5 by 5 size, because the thing I like about it is these will fit into these pockets like this. So if you want to do 2 journaling cards, you could. So, okay, so we've got ephemera bits, we've got folios, we're gonna make this thing, it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna get started on making the folio. We'll see how long this video lasts. If it gets too long, I'll break this video into a couple parts, and we will make the folio, and then we will make all the ephemera, and then September's challenge will be done. All right, let's get to it. Okay, we're going to start making our folio. So the first thing we're going to do is, hopefully you have a larger scoreboard than I do. Mine is a bit small, but that's okay. I can make it work. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to score at 3 inches. And I'm going this way because my board is set up that way. Oh man. 3 inches. And then we're going to score at 9 inches, which means I have to bring this all the way up here. And I know that that's 3 inches, and 3 plus 6 is 9. So I'm going to score at 6 inches. All right. And then you want to score at 9¼ inches, which for me is 6¼ . All right, and then I have to turn this around, and I have to that one is not straight. Okay, so you're going to do 2 sheets like this. Okay, and then, so I have 2 sheets done like this, 3 inches, 9 inches, 9¼ . And then the next one I'm going to do at 5½ inches, because that is the middle of this page, because this is 11 inches wide. And this is for the folio portion. Am I not lined up correctly? Okay. So we have all of our pieces, and I'm going to get my handy dandy bone folder. And the first thing I want to do is I want to fold this one in half. Whoops. And my cardstock is very thick and pretty dry, so it kind of splits a little, but that's okay. This isn't going in a museum. All right, and then I'm going to, so now we have we have this. So this one I'm going to set off to the side. This one is just folded in half. We'll get to that in a minute. And then this one, okay. There we go. Okay, so this is what we should have now, is we should have two pieces that are very, very similar. Almost identical. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to attach this flap to the back of this flap. And we're going to attach it like this. And I want to show you this before I attach it so that we can understand what we're doing. This is going to create the folio, like so. So, to do this, I am going to use double-sided tape. And so you want to turn them like this. So they are both, they're basically identical, side by side identical. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tape this one to this one. So I'm going to run a piece of tape. I'll just speed through this. Okay, the thing to keep in mind is you don't want to cover this score mark here because that's the fold. So you don't want to cover the fold. So when I line this up, I'm going to make sure, and this paper is very dry. It's been sitting around here for years. So I'm going to make sure that when I line this up, I'm not covering that score mark so that this can still fold. So, okay. So what I've done is I've made the back. So this is going to be the back. We will cover this up with a piece of paper so we won't see this. So now I have this folio like this. This part is going to become a pocket. So I'm going to just go ahead and make it a pocket because that's way easier. I can just get that out of the way. Okay, so I have now glued this together so I have a pocket. And I have this little flap, and then I have this flap. So now I have the folio. So now I need to put this in the folio. So this one is, I believe you are supposed to do it like this. And you can make this a pocket, or you don't have to. So I am not terribly certain that I actually want it to be like that. I don't think that I want it to fold out. I think I would much prefer it to be like this. And then this can be another pocket. But because this is going to be a piece of the structure, I am going to take, I think this is my 1/2" tape. Yes, I'm going to take my 1/2" tape for the sides and I'll run a 1/4" piece on the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. So I want to be clear that this is just the way I want to do this. Again, the video's linked below if you want to see how May did it and do it exactly how she did. That's absolutely fine. You can do, I'll link Nicole's video as well, and you can go and watch that video and see how Nicole changed it up. Maybe you want to do that. So because this is going to have to be structurally sound, that's why I'm using the larger pieces of tape on the sides. Because I want to make sure that it's going to stick. Okay, so in the first one I did, I accidentally attached it like that. So that's why I had 2 pockets. But this one I want to attach this way first. Or rather, so I gotta pull this out of view. Okay, so I lined that up. Should be all together. I'm gonna burnish it down on the sides and on the bottom. And then I just have a little pocket here. So here's the little 3.5 by 5 inch cards. You can't really, I can get 2 in here, barely, but I can get 2 in. So, okay. So now we have a folio. That's it. So the folio is done, the structure. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add things to it. So I'm going to show you how much space you have. It's a pretty good amount of space. There's especially space there, so you can, you know, you could put a signature in here if you really wanted. You could easily put a little signature right here if you wanted to add more. You could even like make this a signature and then put it, sew it in right there in that. But I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to do this. I think it's a cute way to showcase the printable kits. So that's what made me think to do this. I am a little concerned about the integrity of this cardstock. I may put some washi tape on the ends once I get my papers in. So let's do the papers. So May does a magnetic closure. She has these like self-adhesive magnets that she sells. I do not have any self-adhesive magnets. I don't have any sort of closure. I mean, I'm sure I could make one. You could put a little eyelet and then just tie ribbon around it, but I'm not going to worry about a closure on it because again, this isn't going in a museum. So I've got my pieces of paper. These are my bigger ones. And they are going to be for the covers. And we've got the front cover. We've got the back cover, which I think I'll make this one the back cover. This was actually really cute. It had a little scene down here, but I had to cut it out. So such is life, right? So I think I'm going to do this one for the back cover. So again, I'm using double-sided tape because I don't have any glue that isn't very wet. So May uses art glitter glue, and I don't have any of that yet, but I hear that it's amazing because it just goes on and then it just like instantly dries and sticks and everything's great. But unfortunately, I'm not that sophisticated. So instead, I'm going to use double-sided tape because it's dry and I don't have to worry about pages buckling. The problem with double-sided tape is it's a bit pricier than glue, so you do have to worry about that. Okay, and then I'm going to burnish this down. The cardstock I feel like was easier because it was thicker than this paper, but that's okay. We're going to make this paper work too. It's all going to work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want paper. Okay, that's about right. And then I'm only going to take one strip off first. I'm going to make sure I've got it where I want it. All right, and then now I've got one side down so I don't have to worry about anything. And then I can just lay it down. And then I can do the other one. So just work in sections. And there we go. There's the back. So that's the back. Here's the front. So the front, where's my other piece of paper? Oh. So the front, I think I want it to be this one, because I like the houses. I did have a house printout that I was going to use, but, oh, they were too small. I used them here, so they're going to be inside. So I'm going to use the house on the front. Now you could ink all of this up if you wanted, you know, if you wanted to do like a pink edge or something to make it kind of pop out, you could do that at this point. I'm not going to do that because sometimes I'm a little lazy. Okay, so the same thing, I'm going to line it up to see about what it looks like. And then I'm going to take one edge off. And I just like to work from the outside edge and go in. You can figure out what feels more comfortable to you. Oh, that wasn't perfect, but that's okay. I was really surprised at how quickly these folios just come together. I did it, it took me about, well, it took me one night to make the folio and put the papers in it, and then I spent another night doing the embellishments, which was a lot of fun. So, you know, it's a really great way if you've got a kit and you're like, I don't know what to do with this kit. This is a great way to use your little kits up. And what I'm probably, I mean, I might put washi tape. I think this one's going to be a bit more collage-y and less scrapbooky than the other one that I made. Or the ones that, you know, that May makes. Hers are specifically to scrapbook photos. So I'm going to make it like a junk folio, maybe. Is that a thing? Okay, so before I stick this down, I want to show you the big pieces. The front cover, the back cover, and then this back flap. The inside back cover will all have your 8¼ by 5¾ inch pieces of paper. And you can use scrapbook paper. You can use collage paper. You could use a masterboard. The possibilities are endless. So you can use whatever suits your fancy. And if you want to use glue, if you've got art glitter glue and, you know, a nice thick scrapbook paper, go for it. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Although I do understand sometimes I watch somebody do something, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful, but I don't have embossing folders, or I don't have, you know, those die cuts or whatever. And sometimes you just have to think, well, what do I have that could do something similar? So this can just as easily be a piece of a masterboard. I mean, I could have, you know, cut all of this up and collaged in here and been happy with it. So you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. Okay, and then the smaller pieces are going to be these inside pieces here. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to do, so I have 2 house ones and this blue one. So I can either do all the houses here, like so that this is all houses. Which might be cool because then you could journal. You could write in here. That might be neat. And then the blue could go on the outside. I am going to ink this blue one. I'm going to use black soot. The reason I'm inking it is because the cuts are very white. And this cardstock, it's not cardstock. This page is already pretty grungy, so I think it will look good if I ink the edges. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then what about these pages? Why not? So I always thought that I didn't really have a use for a folio, but then I really just liked watching how other people made them. And I thought, what a good thing for the Whimsy challenge than to do a little folio, because they are very easy. And I can use this kit to do the folio. And it'll just be a fun way to showcase this kit. And if I put the paper in here, this lined paper, then I can even journal in it. So that's awesome. Now I wish that I had inked all the edges of the other papers. Such is life. Okay, let's glue all this down. Or not glue it, but tape it. So what I do is I line up this edge of the tape with this edge of the paper, and I make sure that it's straight. Just like that. Okay, same thing as the first as the big ones. I'm going to line it up first. Okay. There it goes. And then you just peel the backs off. All right, there's that one. And then let's do the other two. I'll just speed through this. Well, I'm very glad that I got this on video. Look how nice and even and straight that is. That's not too shabby for eyeing it. That's pretty cool. Okay, so here's what we have so far. We have our front page. We have our back page, which covers up the seam here. We have one of the pages for the little folio insert part. We have the two center pages for that, and we have the back cover page. So now what we have left are these smaller pieces, which are going to be for the flaps of the pockets and then the inside pockets. Yes, that's right. I think I have another piece, but let's see. And then this piece, and then this piece. And let me make sure that I'm not missing one somewhere. No, I'm not. Those are the ones I have. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just gonna double side tape these. I will probably do a big piece on either side and then a smaller piece in the middle, maybe. We'll see. If I do too many of these folios, I'll be out of double-sided tape. So, all right, I'm gonna speed through this process. We'll get us on the other side. Okay, so this one definitely has to go here because it's the small one. So I'm going to just go ahead and put it down. And then that's going to help me to figure out where I want the other ones to go. So that's about right. Okay. And then I just lightly did the edges of this one because I didn't do the edges of this one. I didn't want to distress a whole lot on this piece, but I did kind of want it a little distressed. And lining it up is not easy, so I had a heck of a time on my other one getting the borders to be equal for these pieces. So, you know, and this isn't perfect. But again, y'all, we're not putting it in a museum. Isn't that glorious? Hooray for us. Not putting our stuff in museums. Ooh, that's... There's sticky tape bits everywhere. Okay. So this one is purple and then color. So let's do color and then purple. So I'm going to go ahead and put the purple down first because I know where I want it to go. And I highly recommend, if you use double-sided tape, that you burnish, because you want that to really stick. I didn't burnish all the ones on my other one, and some of them did start to come up. So you may want to take that into consideration. I don't think this one's cut evenly, but that's okay. We're gonna stick it all down. Whew. All right, so now this is done. And the one thing that we have left is this little flap. So first off, we're gonna do the embellishing in a whole separate video because this video got pretty long. However, I have all of these bits and I kind of feel like I might want to use these two. So it's all supposed to be 8 1/4. So I'm going to see. Okay, this one is just 8. So that one won't work. That is 8 1/4. That one is just 8. Ooh, this is neat. It's got numbers on it. I really like those numbers. Okay, I like the numbers. That one's just 8. Wow, that one's almost 9. That's 8 3/4. So what I might do, I think I will do this. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to line up these lines here in the center, and then I'm going to cut that end, and I'm going to cut that end, and I think this is 1 inch. It is. I'm going to go to my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim this in half, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is where the quilter in me is about to come out, because what I want to do is I need a piece that is 1 1/2 by 8 1/4. And this is 2 3/4. So I need 1 1/2, almost this. I need to cut this in half. So I'm going to use this one and I'm going to cut it in half. Maybe. I'm getting a bit precise, so this may not work like I want it to. And this is a little over 1.5 inches. So if I take these and tape them together, it should give me what I am looking for. So what I want to do is I want to piece together, oh, that's not quite right. It's 1.25 inches. I want to piece together the flap here. So this is what I want to do. But I need to put all of this together. So okay, so there is the little piece that I was thinking about doing. Oh, but it's not sticking how I want it to. So if I just do that one, I think I'll just do that one. Okay. And then we're going to make sure, ooh, that is sticky. I want to make sure that it's pretty even. Oh, I stuck it. It's not, it doesn't line up with the other one, but that's okay because it's stuck. There's nothing I can do about it. All right, and then pull that one up and stick the rest of it down. All right, that's the best we can do with that. That's kind of cool. I actually like all the lines. I didn't think I would. And then, let's see. I need 8.25. This one's 8.25. So I could do this one, but I definitely want to. These are all 8.25 as well. Ooh. Oh, that one's that one. Okay, well, let's use this one. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to cover up this white line on this one. All right. And then we're going to put it down here. And then where is, oh, that's kind of cool. You know what, actually, I think I'm going to put this down, and I think I might put washi. Will I? Or maybe I do want to do what I'm doing. Will I do that, or will I do this? Who knows? Where did that go? Burnish that, and then I think I'm just going to put it like this. Or do I want it like that? No, I don't want it like that. That's too close to that one. I want it like that. Okay. All right. Flip this up. And then there we go. Okay. Part 1 is done. And we do still have these scraps, which is great because we will use them. Maybe not all of them, but we will use some of them. One of the things I like is I have these little guys, which are roughly 2.5 by 4.25. And I think they will look great on one of these with maybe some sort of border or something around it. We'll figure it out. So here's what we have. We have our folio where we have a piece of paper here and we kind of piece them together. We've got an inside flap there. We have a little pocket here, and we have a little pocket here. And then we have a full sheet here, full sheet, and a full sheet here. And we are going to take this rice paper kit, and I'm going to show it to you. I'll cut this stuff out before we meet again. And we're just going to take all of these little bits, and maybe we'll make paper dolls out of some of the heads. Maybe we will, I don't know, maybe we'll put little birds sprinkled here and there. We'll see what we're going to do. There's lots of fun things that we can do. And we've got these cards that are 3.5 by 5, so we're going to use those. We might use these to, we could like make little dolls, and that could be their background, and they could have little portraits. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll piece some of these ladies together to make paper dolls. A paper doll cat, who knows? All right. Whew. Part 1 is done. Part 2 is the decorating and the embellishing, and some would call the fun part. I think it's all fun. But look at that. I made a little folio. It's so cute. Look, it's so adorable. There's the back. There it is. Okay. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for coming along. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to finish up this week pretty strong and get ready for October's challenge. I bet y'all know what it is because I have a whole stack of things right over there ready for it. So we're going to finish up our Whimsyfolio. That might not work, but we're going to do this. It'll be fun. I will see you very shortly. Have a wonderful week.